Welcome to Elimination, the podcast that puts sitcom against sitcom and brothers against father. Here's your host, Bob.
I am your host Bob for Elimination. Welcome to the show. And as the same as last time, I am Bob, and here with me is my dad Dave.
Howdy.
And substituted in for Michael because he is a plumber, he works weird hours, he couldn't make it today. We've once again got Jackie, my mum, Dave's wife.
And Michael's mum. Yes, hi everybody.
You just had to clear that up. Yeah.
I thought she dozed off for a minute.
I thought we lost
I
her.
was just checking you finished, really. Seems such a long speech.
A speech, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know what we're doing. You know what the plan is. This is episode 12. Blimey, 12 already.
I can't wait for the second round. It's gonna be great, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all soft and fluffy at the moment. Next round, it's going to get serious.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to get hurt.
Or as Wimbledon say, the round of 16. That's what they call that round of 16.
Yeah, that sounds too gentle because it sounds like you're
It's
having
second
a punch
round.
up.
Oh, imagine the semi-finals.
God, there's not. Yeah, don't think about it. Get stressed out. Well, you used to have been away recently, haven't you?
Yeah.
Little fact. You used to
Yeah,
have
we
been away.
went to Oxford, a little village in Oxfordshire, which I can't remember the name of at the moment, but
Swerford.
Swerford, that's right. Yeah.
Elimination on tour.
Yeah, we stayed in a nice little cottage with a hot tub. It wasn't in the cottage, it was outside. But
Yep, obviously.
Indoor hot tub.
yeah, nice chill out week, wasn't it?
With a horse, donkeys.
Oh yeah, alpacas.
Chickens,
Alpacas are so stupid looking. They look thick as two short planks.
But
don't
they've got curly-haired legs that are really cute.
They just stare at you, and then when you sort of go towards them, they run away.
Reminds me of wifey. Or Jackie,
Thank
rather.
you.
So I do need to say that. But Dave calls my mum wifey, and it's stuck. And now everybody calls her wifey. It's very weird. It's strange.
It's not sexist, I must say. It's not.
No, it's not when we allow her to leave the
Term of
kitchen.
affection.
Yeah.
That's what they tell me.
It just sounds. I know for anybody listening, it sounds weird that I call my mum wifey. That's a strange thing, isn't it? Maybe I should stop that. That's
Well, you do call me mum as well.
yeah, only when I'm in trouble.
No, that's mother.
Yeah. Okay, well, you know what we're here for. This is the sitcom against sitcom podcast. So
Bexy first this time.
Begsy's first.
No, if you have to.
Oh, actually, before we get going, I do want to do a little shout out to TJ Knowles, who posted on our Facebook page and said he loves the podcast and
Thanks,
keep
TJ.
going.
TJ Hooker was that?
TJ Knowles. I don't know what the
Thank
T
you,
and J
TJ.
stand for, but thank you, TJ, top man.
Top jockey.
Keep listening, yeah, and we might do a shout out every episode possibly if you keep posting other people. So yeah, let's go. Pick show one.
Right, here
Who
we go.
going? Dave, is it you?
Let's go. Any good ones left? Here we go. Oh, it is a good one. It's Dad's Army.
Good noise, mother.
I like it.
Well, Dave,
Here we go.
Let's do it.
Right. Dad's Army is a British sitcom written by Jimmy Perrin and David Croft that was broadcast by the BBC from 1968 to 1977 about the British Home Guard during World War II. Dad's Army deals mostly with men over military age and featured older British actors including Arthur Lowe, John Le Mesurier, Arnold Ridley and John Laurie. Younger members of the cast included Ian Lavender, Clive Dunn, who played the oldest member of the platoon despite being one of the youngest members, and James Beck. The sitcom ran for 9 series and 80 episodes, also a radio version, a feature film and a stage show. A second feature film of Dad's Army with a different cast was released in 2016.
I don't know who they're aiming at with that film.
I quite enjoyed it.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, Toby Jones was Mandarin, wasn't he?
Yeah, I know, but I just
And the bloke out of In-Betweeners was Pike.
yeah. I forget his name now. Ralph.
Isn't his name Ralph?
No, you're talking about Neil. Neil is the character in Inbetweeners.
Right. Isn't his name Ralph?
No.
Where'd she get Ralph Little? What's she talking about? I
Yeah,
don't know.
possibly.
Yeah,
Or
anyway.
Stuart Little.
Yeah, I can't think of his name now.
Stuart Little, he wasn't in it. Right, who's going to play up against?
Yeah, Dad's Army. That's a big
Thank
hitter as
you.
well. So this is going to be interesting.
Right. Let's have a look. What we got? Ooh. We have. the
Good
four-
sound effects.
They're normal
She's
for
full of
me.
them.
Yeah, she put your machine out of business.
I know.
We have got The Fall and Rise of Reginald Perrin.
Oh, I really like that one.
Right.
Dave,
Here
Do
we
the
go.
business.
The Fall and Rise of Reginald Perrin is a BBC sitcom written by David Nobbs and starring Leonard Rossiter, first broadcast in September 1976. It tells the story of Reginald Perrin, who fakes his own death following a boring marriage and the daily grind of his job. The cast also included Paula Yates as his wife Elizabeth and John Barron as his overbearing boss CJ. There were 21 episodes.
I didn't get where I am today.
No, not by drawing out Fall and Rise of Reginald Perrin.
Mum, where do you want to start?
Let's start with Reggie Perrin.
You want to start with
Oh, you know who wears the trousers.
Absolutely.
It's rare to see you out of the kitchen.
Right? Jeez, they're going to have you down as
Why
some
shouldering
sort
that rolling pin? What's going on?
of hitting over the
Somebody's
head
in trouble.
Right, the rise and fall of Reggie Perrin. I must admit,
It's the Fall and Rise.
sorry, fall and rise. I always get it the wrong way around. I do apologise. I am old. That is a kind of. It wasn't something that the first time I watched it, I didn't really like it.
Did you
very
watch it when it
much.
was on telly, when it first
Yes,
came
we
out?
did.
Right, okay.
But
We did. What sort of you, as a family, you sat
well,
round and.
me and Dave did.
No,
Right.
It's come out in 1976, Bob.
What? Look, I'm terrible with
Actually,
dates and
September
years.
1976, which is the month we got married.
It is.
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
Grow
So
up.
we decided not to
Get
get
a
married.
room.
We just sit and watch the whole series of the Fall and Rise. Sorry, to make
She
sure I
looked
got
at
it
her
right
notes
way
to
around.
get that right.
Yeah, I didn't really. It didn't make me laugh as much the first time round as it did the second time round. I think maybe I matured a bit, maybe, or got it. The fact that it would be really nice to disappear and come back as somebody else, as many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want me to come back as who?
I can think of a few people. Sandra Bullock wouldn't be a bad choice.
Oh, yeah, let's not go down that road. Yeah, so I don't know. No, it's not. It doesn't kind of.
It's a slow
resonate.
burner,
It
isn't
is
it?
a very slow burner.
Yeah, but
and
I think
you have to watch it in order.
if you you have to watch
it
yeah,
in order.
you can't like 40 Towers. You can pick up one episode and just get it.
Yeah.
With that, you can't. You've got to watch the progression of that
No,
character.
it is
And
like a drama.
I think as a person who has commuted up to London, sure it was in the 90s and 2000s, but commuted up to London, train tubes, and the repetitive nature of that, they really nailed it. Where he walks down exactly the same street, gets the same train, and every morning he's 11 minutes
11
late?
minutes,
Yeah.
always 11
11
minutes
minutes.
late,
London,
yeah.
London Bridge.
because of
something
some
with
yeah
London
because of
Bridge.
something, but it really did, and that's what drew me in, because I found it very familiar, that beginning with the music, and he walks past the same signs every day, gets the same bloke opposite him.
With that sitcom, it was a totally like some people say The Office was groundbreaking. This was groundbreaking because it wasn't your normal format for a sitcom. It actually had a running through story that carried on, and it didn't really go out for laughs. It's and Leonard Rossiter, I mean,
He's up there, isn't he?
he's top drawer.
And I remember I was watching it with my fiance, and there was that one scene where his secretary's upstairs in the bed, and then all of a sudden the whole neighbourhood wants to come and knock on his door for something, and he's got all this going on, and my fiance said at the time, he must be knackered. He must be absolutely knackered. And I said, yeah, they probably did that 4 or 5 times in the same day. Like, right, let's go again. And it was amazing. It really was. Making sure nobody went upstairs, making sure she didn't come downstairs, answering the door again, the neighbour, the uncle, the son. And it was just this insane
It's
kind
like
of...
a stage farce, that particular
It is,
episode.
yeah.
It's like a stage farce where, they're up trying to keep that way. And
spinning plates.
I mean,
It's the whole
there
spinning
must be
plates.
people of your age or younger. I mean, people in their 20s who have never even heard of it, never seen it.
No,
But
I would recommend it.
They are all on YouTube. Do yourself a favour and give it a try. I mean,
Yeah.
but as Bob said, you've got to do them in order because
Yeah,
it does carry on.
And don't just watch one and think, I don't like that. You need to
No.
watch a few
No,
to get
it
into
is
it.
a slow burner.
And you do get the farcical bits now and again where the hippo and where the mother-in-law's mentioned the hippos and the chairs in CJ's office, like it's so childish, but it's so funny because it always does it at delay when he leaves, and
he tries to get out before it does it and he never can.
yeah. Does he do the knocking as well? Where he goes to knock and he
No,
said, "Come in,"
that's,
or is that a different sitcom?
Yeah.
No, that's Ever Degreasing Circles. That
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, but the boss is really good in that as well. I didn't get to where I am today without,
And great, super.
Yeah.
They get on your nerves.
Yeah.
But in a good way. I mean, I think it's a great program. I think Rossiter is really good in it. I think he's great.
Yeah, he is. And the sign of the what is it, dessert?
Sunshine Desserts.
Desserts. Yeah, that's it. And there's always a letter missing or whatever,
Yeah.
and then they fix it and it still falls apart.
And Sue Nichols, who's in Coronation Street, when she used to be a proper actress, and she was the secretary. She plays Audrey.
That's
I
right.
don't know
The
if she-
hairdresser's Gail's mum.
Is she still in it? I don't know. She can't be,
know.
surely. But anyway, she was the hairdresser. She was Gail's mum for donkey's years. But that's when she was a proper actress, and she was in that.
And when he pictures them sort of having sex on the desk in a field, like it's just so absurd.
And thinking she must have been thinking the same, mustn't she?
Yeah,
'Cause
because when he engaged it, she was up for it all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
And it's the silly bit with the umbrella. I know it sounds really stupid, but when he'd walk in, 11 minutes late, train delayed at London
Yeah.
Bridge, and he'd always go to put his umbrella on the thing, and it would always miss.
Yeah.
Apart from once. I
Yeah,
think there was
yeah.
once
It
where
lands when it where it lands. Yeah.
I think that was a fluke.
Have it, and when the wife says, "Have a good day," I won't. Yeah, it's the same conversation. She understands everything as well, doesn't she? He says the most absurd thing, and she goes, "I understand." And he's like, it annoys him that she doesn't go, "What are you talking about?" Yeah. It is really good. It is. I really enjoy it. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Because we've watched it back recently for research, but
it is a bit dated, though. I think in some.
Yeah, but it's made in
respects now.
1976.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
so
but
it's
what do you mean?
so-
But
well-
you say that because 40 Towers, you say it's it was timeless. You can watch it, pick up one.
Yeah, you gotta
But what do you mean?
Explain yourself.
The only thing is, I think that's kind of the old school. It's like my dad's day when the boss was the god, whereas now I think there's a less of a gap now between the boss and the top workers. It's a little bit less.
Well, I don't think you'd see them, to be honest. I worked in a
No,
corporate
you
place
might not.
and went 6 months without seeing a top manager, and then they come
Yeah.
down when something's gone wrong.
This was in the days where you had to entertain. If they turned up at your house, you'd have to feed them with proper food.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
similar-
he does, doesn't he? He does. I'm going to
Oh,
do a dinner party without the food.
Without food, yeah.
And he turns up. I'm not going to feed you.
and they're all drunk.
Yeah.
Because they're all just drinking and there's no food.
Yeah, and then it turns out to be a great idea. These sort of like innovative or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
And that's where the nugget is born, I think.
Yeah.
The nugget idea of moving on to.
It is good. And in the end, where he's trying to think of a name, and it really grows into something memorable. It sticks with me, like walking into the water, and it really did. I mean, I remember the hippo and all that kind of stuff from when we watched it when I was a
Years
really
ago.
small kid. And Super Smashing,
No, great super.
a great super.
Great super.
And that always stuck with me, and I think as kids we did that as well. But there were 3 of us, so we added great Super Smashing. We added our own thing. But I remembered it, but I didn't remember what the plot was and how it grew. But watching it recently, I've really loved it. Leonard Rossiter is a genius. He's brilliant.
Did you ever see Leonard Rossiter in a film about El Patamain?
Definitely not.
Do you remember that, Jack? We saw that, the pictures. I think it was like a Beeb film that was... back in the day, you used to go to cinema and you get a feature and a film with it. And I think it was one of those.
2 for
It's
1.
about...
No.
He's about... I think he was a true character. He was a French entertainer back in the day, and he used to entertain the crowds by passing wind.
Oh, I do remember
And he
it.
used to...
It's not something you forget, is it?
I have to see if that's on YouTube. I don't think it's like an hour and a half film. I think it goes on for about an hour or something. But he does like impersonations and
Yeah.
stuff. And
I
right up
remember
Michael's
that.
alley, that one, isn't it? I mean,
Oh,
but
Toilet
yeah. Anyway,
humour.
that's getting away from the subject a bit. But it's
Yeah.
just he was quite versatile. Even though he played like Rigsby and this, and he was a bit manic. He did do other serious.
well, we
stuff as
mentioned
well.
him. That he was in that one episode of Steptoe and Son, didn't we? Where he
Well,
played
he was in,
the
actually, he was in
escape-
2. He was in that one we're talking about, The Desperate Hours. And
Yeah,
he
that
was
was
also
so
one
good.
before, a black and white one from the mid-60s.
Oh, was he?
Where he was like a con man, and he conned them out of the lead off their roof or something. But
That sounds
totally
about
different character. You'd hardly recognise him.
Yeah.
And if you look at, I mean, me and Jack watch quite a lot of old black and white films, and he does turn up in those now and again. But he's
I think
good.
he would have made a really good Sherlock Holmes. So personally.
Elementary, my dear wifey.
Exactly. I don't know. Just sometimes the faces he pulled and the things that just you see.
He does that manic thing so well. He does that kind of, like we said, spinning plates is so well done, and trying to cover things up and push. It's really.
I'll tell you something else about him that you said about he the effort he must have taken to do that scene.
Yeah.
But he was a fit man, because I remember going back to the year dot. On Saturday afternoons, you used to have Grandstand on BBC One, which showed you racing and the football results coming in. And ITV had World of Sport with Dickie Davis. And they had this thing where personalities used to, celebrities, before celebrities were celebrities.
Have another fag, Dave.
And they had like a squash tournament between celebrities, and he got drawn against Tommy Steele. And Tommy Steele was known to be pretty fit, and he absolutely annihilated him at squash. So he was a fit man.
Well, there you go. Well, that up against it is one of the heaviest hitters, I think, and probably the best theme song of a sitcom, I think, with Dad's Army, which, from my research, I don't think it got very good reviews when it first came out.
Oh, you say that, but I mean, I wasn't a reviewer, but I remember playing out, and I think it came on either 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. I think it might have been 8 o'clock.
Playing out.
Well, you were. I mean,
showing your age.
It came out in 1968. I was 14, and we used to rush home to get to watch it. I mean, it was that popular.
But I think
we were kids. I mean,
I don't think they wanted to portray the British kind of that as sort of bumbling idiots. There was a lot of backlash on that. To the Home Guard wasn't like that. It wasn't a bumbling kind of accidental idiots, old people. It was something to be kind of looked up to. It was respectable. Yeah. And I know there was definitely some backlash with that. And I think that's where the reviews came from.
It doesn't take away anything. From
no, but the
Home
professionals
Guard
will always look at something in a different way, won't it?
Some of the things that were in those stories were true.
Like I think
you find that with most
wooden,
sitcoms.
Wooden rifle. They didn't have rifles or anything like that. They had broom handles. And,
Yeah.
and if the Germans had landed, they would have been attacking them, and they would have defended us with broom handles and whatever they had to hand.
I always remember in a very early episode, because they used to turn up just in their clothes, and Memory was in like the vicar's office, and someone come around and goes, "The uniforms are here, sir. The uniforms are here." And he put this tiny little box on the table, and it was just armbands.
Oh, what?
With Home Guard on it.
Yeah.
The uniforms.
Yeah. But I think the cast is top drawer. I mean,
yeah.
And the genius thing about this was swapping the roles for John Le Mesurier and Arthur Lowe.
Yeah.
Arthur Lowe was supposed to obviously see why he was going to be the sergeant,
Yeah.
and John Le Mesurier, who had all the airs and graces, was going to be the captain. But because he was the manager of the bank and John Le Mesurier was the turning them around.
That makes it.
That's
doesn't it?
perfect.
But the genius of it is putting Mannering in those bits where he's making the plans that they're not going to work, and then he ends up flustered in some way, or his hat goes, his glasses are, I just that in itself is funny,
I think that happened every episode.
Yeah, because he's so straight laced, isn't he? The wig as well, and that is brilliant when he puts the wig on. He goes, "What do you think?" And he's just laughing. Well, it looks terrible, sir.
It was the one where there was a letter for the Honourable. So he was.
That's right. Yeah.
John Le Mesurier was an honourable, and Mannering was.
Yeah, he got in the golf. He got in the golf club, didn't he?
Yeah, because he was
like that.
honourable.
I did hear something. I don't know if this is actually true. I've not had this confirmed, but I did hear that David Jason was going to be lined up to play Clive Dunn's character, Jonesy.
Oh, really?
Well, he done it in Porridge, didn't he?
The old man. Yeah.
So whether that, and he was on telly in the mid-60s, so it's a possibility.
That'd have been weird. But the classic is "Don't tell him your name, Pike."
Yeah.
Don't tell him, Pike.
And it will always be funny. It will always be funny.
Yeah. And also, you got to remember they wrote some big sitcoms. Not all my cup of tea, but Are You Being Served? They done that one. They done Ain't Half Hot Mum. Do you remember that? Shut up.
Sounds familiar.
Frank Windsor was the sergeant. They was in India or Singapore or somewhere.
India.
Anyway, Heidi High they done, which you don't like.
No.
And Hello Hello, which we never watched, did we?
No.
So, but they got a good track record.
Oh
they?
yeah.
They done loads.
Yeah. Do you think that like we say with Reginald Perrin, somebody could. You could show that to grandkids or teenagers or whatever, and they could watch it from start to finish and,
I'm
and
not
kind
sure.
of get it.
No, I'm not
with,
sure now.
With Dad's Army, do you think that you?
I think if they watched it with a grandparent and they could sort of explain things and that, but I think it'd be hard to relate.
It doesn't make sense, does it? Yeah.
15-year-old now to watch that. Just
it's on their mobile phone, and there's they've got one phone in the village. It's and.
But a good thing about it not aging is the uniforms, because where a lot of sitcoms, especially the ITV ones, Man About the House, the cruddy ones, they're all in
fashion.
They're all in big flares and collars, and it looks so 70s. But with the uniforms, it could be in any time.
It's an army. That's it. They're in. If all you have to do is explain that they've not actually gone over to the army; they're just protecting their town from an invasion, possible invasion. Did it ever happen? Didn't happen, did it?
No, they didn't come over. No.
But that bloke was German, though, wasn't he? The don't tell him name Pike.
Yeah, he was.
What was he? He was a captain of some.
He was a submarine commander, wasn't he?
Was he?
I don't think he's German in real life. He's
no, not in real life. But
I think he was married to Gladys out of Heidi High, wasn't he? They've got the same name, unless his brother and sister.
Don't know. Wasn't aware of that.
Oh, I don't know.
No, I don't mean the actor. I mean like the character.
Oh
like,
yeah. He was German. They had a couple of Germans in it. They had a paratrooper come down, didn't they? And there was something in the canal, not the canal. I forget the name of it.
Yeah, but do you see a lot of
the reservoir? That's what I was trying to think
Oh.
of. There was a German boat in the reservoir.
I like the warden. Turn that light out.
Oh,
he's. I think it picks it up when he turns
Actually,
up.
Going back to when I was in the dark room and I used to listen to talking books and that, he done one on Dad's Army, and he was a bit like Rimmer. He could impersonate
Chris Barry.
Yeah, he could impersonate the other characters.
Oh, so he did like a.
Yeah,
wow,
well,
that's a big cast to do as well, isn't it?
No, I don't know if he actually done it as a living like Chris Barry did, but he done pretty passable impersonations of them.
Yeah, I think it picked up when he turned up because he was always cutting off like Mannering's authority, wasn't
Napoleon, he used to call
he?
it.
Yeah.
You can't come in here, Napoleon.
But then you've got the main cast in like the group, but then you've got the priest as well, and his number two.
And one of the unsung heroes is the Verger.
Yeah,
I think he's really funny.
Who's flat cap?
I'll tell his reverence. He's funny.
Yeah, it is good, and you see them in doing their work as well, don't you? You see in the bank, and what's his name's a butcher.
Fraser's an undertaker.
Yeah, undertaker.
James Beck, he's just a spiff.
Yeah.
No, it's a shame about him because he died pretty young. He died after about the third or fourth series, I think, and it was a real shock. I mean, because you've got all these old actors, and you think, Dad's Army star dies, you don't think it's going to be James Beck who Blake Walker. And he was good at it. I mean, he was really good at it. And I don't think it weren't as good, but they definitely lost a little bit. Like if any of them had gone.
Yeah.
Well, probably him more than most, because he had the two young ones and all the rest were old. So.
What about Clive Dunn?
Yeah, they don't like it Upham, do they?
I just love the thing of him being one step out every time.
Yeah.
He's just he always misses it, doesn't he? That is a classic. He did that song, didn't he? There's no
Granddad.
one quite like...
No, not Grandma. He done Granddad. Big number one, that was.
How does that go?
Granddad.
Oh, right, yeah.
We love it.
Excuse me, Bob, can I be excused?
Why?
There's old Ridley, isn't it?
Oh.
Where is he?
Permission to speak, sir.
And it's the way Clive Dunn. He's like, I'd like to stand up to be the
Yeah, who wants to be
He
this?
always wanted to be in the main first job, didn't he?
Yeah, he was quick to volunteer, wasn't he? Me.
Surprisingly, he survived the first lot. If he was doing
there can't be as many sitcoms who've got as many catchphrases as this one, you know.
Well, run through them, Dave. What you got?
Oh, I should have written them down, really, but I say, would you mind awfully falling in?
Stupid boy.
Stupid boy. They don't like it Upham, sir. Cold steel. They like cold steel.
We're all doomed.
Yeah, we're all marooned. I say, could I be excused, sir? I mean, and he was king of the hill in the bank and at the platoon, But when his wife rang up,
Who
Elizabeth...
we never saw.
Well, we did. We saw the bottom half of her in the bunk,
Yeah,
didn't
but we never saw
No,
her
we
face.
never saw
She
her.
never turned up, but she was on the phone, and she was...
Yes, Cat Mannering here. Oh, yes, Elizabeth.
He took it down the tone.
Yeah. It's funny, he used to have a boss like that. He was an absolute arsehole when he used to... But when his wife used to ring up, God, he would turn into a blooming putty.
A bit like you and me.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, goodness.
Where's your in this coming the ranked 2019 poll? Top UK sitcoms of all time.
Top 5, I think.
15.
Really?
Yeah, that's a shocker, isn't it? Maybe because of its age.
Yeah, well, we've said this before about seeing like Steptoe and the Son. How are young people going to understand the rag and bone? Yeah, and I think it is. You're right. The army, the home guard. It is a dated thing. I mean, it doesn't happen. It's not happened in.
But having said that, Bob, there ain't many sitcoms from 1968 to 1977 that are still on BBC One on a Saturday night.
And it is good. I've watched it and laughed recently, so I think it stands up on its own. And you can watch one. Yeah, that's another thing as well.
Well, yeah, most sitcoms you can though, can't you?
Well, Reginald Perrin you can't.
No, not always.
Well, it is most, isn't it? but what
There's
we
one.
should do, we should get the grandkids over and watch an episode with them and see if they laugh at all. Whether they can relate. Good experiment.
Yeah. I think if they're watching it with you though, Dave,
and you explain,
you'll laugh. They'll laugh because you're laughing.
Well, I don't know. I think they might just look up at me and say, "What's he laughing at?"
silly old fool.
I think you'll get a crowbar to get the phones out of their hands. To be fair,
Yeah, true.
We'll have to get them to drop them in a bag on the way in.
Yeah.
Give them a cash incentive. That might do it.
That'll cost you.
Get a £1 every time you laugh. God, they'll be laughing all the way through it.
Yeah, 25 minutes of laughing, cash up. Well, I think we're at that time.
Oh, that went quick.
Yeah, we're at,
didn't it?
what, 27 minutes now?
Now, this is a very awkward one because I really like Leonard Rossiter. I really like Reggie Perrin. But Dad's Army, I mean, blimey, that's a top. I mean, this is a.
Well, you take your time, Dave. You stay there. I'm going to go for Reginald Perrin because I think it just completely goes full circle. It's perfect. It gradually gets better. Leonard Rossiter nails it. And Dad's Army, I feel like I almost feel like it's too. One negative for me is that you watch one episode, like you say, catchphrases. They're different stories, but it's the same every time. And I just think up against Leonard Rossiter's Reginald Perrin, it's a little bit better, just a little bit. This isn't foregone conclusion. This is just a tiny bit. I just really enjoyed it. So my vote is for Reginald Perrin.
Well, I'm going to vote next then.
Go on, then.
I've got to go with Dad's Army just because of the fact that you've got so many of them that I can just watch any episode. There is one bad episode. It's called Boots, Boots, Boots. I don't know what happened. It just fell flat all the way through. But apart from that, we've still got 79 left. I think Dad's Army deserves to go into the round of the last 16. So it's down to you, Jack.
Well,
no pressure. Are you up to it?
Dramatic entrance.
Well, it's an easy pick for me. I have got to go with Dad's Army. I'm really sorry.
There's not many.
Sorry.
Yeah, don't tell us why. Go for it.
Because
it's your vote. Stand up and be counted.
You can watch it any time, and you know you will laugh. Whereas if you randomly pick a Reggie Perrin one, you might not know what's gone on the week before, or the one before or the one afterwards.
Yeah, so it can be a negative as well. Yeah, it's true.
The Dad's Army thing. You can randomly watch any one of those, and you're guaranteed at least one laugh, and mostly more. You know what to expect before you even start. But I'm sorry, Dad's Army. Got to be Dad's Army. Sorry.
Well,
sorry
if
if
you
that
keep
upsets you.
apologising.
yeah, don't be sorry. It's your vote. You can do it.
Dad's Army then.
Well, that's it.
I said Dad's Army then.
Well, that's 8 votes for Dad's Army.
Oh, take one.
Dad's Army goes through to the next round, the difficult next round it's going to be, and Reginald Perrin does
that is a shame.
get eliminated. Yeah. But if you haven't seen it, I would really recommend it.
Because both the Leonard Rossiter ones are out now, aren't they?
Yeah. Unfortunately. But that is what this is all about. It's going to get more difficult as we go on, so get ready for that. Thank you to my mum Jackie for joining us. She might be in more episodes. We don't know what Michael's going on with that.
Do it.
What? Oh, my
Mark Heap's
Yeah.
back.
Oh, hello, Jackie. You look nice.
Can you say anything else that he says?
What does he say?
I don't know.
Wilson. No. No is the answer to that.
It was a good try.
Yeah, I'll cut that out. That'll come out in the edit. Well, anything else to add?
No, we're done.
No, bye everybody.
If you enjoyed the show, why not help the lads out by going to Patreon and join the debate. Music by Ben Sound.